Welcome back. We've been discussing fiscal federalism and the challenges posed to it by the states of Andhra Pradesh and Bihar, which now have a political clout to demand a larger package. But how will it be worked in the overall contours of the Finance Commission and the annual budget? I've been speaking with Jyothsna Tirunagari, the spokesperson, national spokesperson of the TDP, and economists and former Finance Commission members, Dr. Rathin, Pinaki, Chakraborty, and Govinda. Well, Dr. Govinda, is it possible for the Finance Commission to be partial to two states? Or will they have to, give money on some, neutral ground, like economic development, etc.? Within their contours, can they actually design a special package for these two states?
No, I'm afraid not. In fact, the Finance Commission has to treat all the states on an equal footing. They have to look at the revenue capacities and expenditure needs of the states, and based on that, they have to make their recommendations. And I do not know even, whether, tax devolution is done on the basis of some broad indicators. But if they give the revenue deficit grants, then obviously they have to work out the capacities and needs on a uniform basis. So even for the central government to arbitrarily give money for for some purposes may not be that feasible, and obviously there will be problems. This type of asymmetric arrangement can create problems. What the union government can do is to sort of handhold the state government in taking over a number of other schemes. For example, sort of their own central government expenditures on major projects, possibly can be increased. There is also another problem. Andhra Pradesh not only has a bad fiscal situation, the election promises, that Super 6 election promises that were made, like 300 rupees per month for unemployed youth, 3 gas cylinders, free bus travel, 20,000 rupees seed capital. All these things are going to take a heavy toll. So I am not very certain that, in the union budget this year, this next budget to be present next month, they may make some provision for additional, expenditures on Polavaram, capital city, and some of the major other, sort of central projects. But I'm afraid giving, financial assistance for specific, sort of state projects may be difficult.
Oh, yeah, because a lot of the southern states, even Karnataka has made a lot of welfare promises. Perhaps Andhra's is a little more. But Dr. Chakraborty, can the can the Finance Commission give a higher revenue deficit? That is their big problem. If they do that, then Kerala also becomes an additional beneficiary. Is that a likely route that the Finance Commission can take? Just one-time adjustment of revenue deficit?
Finance Commission probably cannot do that because the way Finance Commission estimates revenue deficit fund principle is uniform. So there is no discrimination in assessing a particular state's revenue deficit. But what is important here to recognize the fact that United Andhra Pradesh never received a revenue deficit grant, but when Andhra Pradesh was bifurcating, 14th Finance Commission in recent history will be the first Finance Commission which had given a revenue deficit grant. In 15th Finance Commission also, Andhra was eligible for a revenue deficit grant. My sense is even in the 16th, the way the revenue deficit grant has been calculated, Andhra may become eligible for a revenue deficit grant. But what I am more concerned about is Andhra's rising capital expenditure need because the state has been bifurcated. The new capital city is being developed, and there are other investments required for a new state. So that kind of an expenditure, if Andhra has to do it through a grant or through higher borrowing, should be considered.
No, if you can put extra money in a gift city, surely you can treat Amaravati also on a similar plane, can't you, Dr. Chakraborty?
Well, in that context, I think the point Rathin made and Dr. Rao made, I think for a Finance Commission to make an asymmetric arrangement for Bihar and Andhra will be very difficult. It's not feasible. So we have to look at the feasibility.
So it has to come from the budget, you're saying. That becomes a national concern if the fiscal deficit rises. That's why I'm asking.
No, there are two issues. I think if it has to come from the budget, it has to have two different approaches. The first is one has to look at how I would say the public financial management in the last 5 or 10 years has resulted in increasing revenue deficit, and some of the increase in deficit is because the state was bifurcated and there was an extra
Yeah,
cost. So unless we have an understanding of how much is because of the
bifurcation.
because of the bifurcation, how much is because of the fiscal management or mismanagement, I think we would really know how much money is still required for
Okay.
addressing the issue of bifurcation and as additional resources.
Okay, okay. Going by these arguments that all three of you made, Rathin, do you think the budget has to bear this deficit? Is there some unspecified burden? We are all going by the 5.1% fiscal deficit for the centre. Can that be higher because of the help they may give the two states?
I mean, it doesn't, it really depends on the duration of or how the package is rolled out, doesn't it?
Okay.
I mean, again, this is the problem with how we do budgeting in India. If we had a rolling medium-term expenditure framework or a medium-term fiscal framework, then we could have reasonably rolled out the package in the next 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
And frankly, I think 4 lakh crores is affordable for Andhra Pradesh alone. Whether that money will come as in a guaranteed fashion or not, we don't know. And let us say that a consequence of this happening is perhaps a 1 to 1.2% increase in the fiscal deficit. Well, all the government has to do to deal with that is to improve its own competence at the center. It has been notoriously incompetent in doing disinvestment. It has therefore moderated its targets to match its incompetence. If it is able to raise its game there, then a transfer of let's say collectively half that amount is possible without affecting the fiscal deficit. So I don't think the question is one of affordability. The question is one of the competence of the central government's fiscal management to deal with its political promise.
Okay.
But lest people think that either Andhra Pradesh or Bihar has any ability to blackmail the government, let me assure you they don't.
Okay.
Because if they do leave the government and the government falls because they don't get a package immediately, then there is no guarantee that anybody else is going to offer them a package.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, that's true. And, both parties will have to move in unison for the government to fall. So that's not anybody's base case. We have a stable government for the moment, for sure. Jyothsna ji, we are all...
We have a stable government in the next budget.
Yeah.
And there is no reason for anyone to inflate that budget so soon.
Yeah.
And therefore, I don't think you're going to see anything dramatic happening.
Yeah, so the bargaining, what you're saying is the bargaining power is therefore, restrained by the fact that there's no plan B for the states of Bihar and Andhra. I take your point on that. Jyothsna ji, we have all been battling some numbers, 4 lakh crore, 5 lakh crore. I know you're going to once again tell me we have not yet got the numbers, there are no numbers. Just tell us whether we are discussing the correct figure or at least the range is right. You're looking at 4 lakh to 5 lakh crore?
See, definitely when...
No, yes or no, madam?
No. Listen. Let me complete my point.
Sure.
Because what Rathin sir told was, I think that was the last number. It's an old number, sir, if I'm not wrong, Rathin sir. Old number. So obviously, for the past 5 years, it should have been increased.
No. I took the number that we recommended in 2014 and I blew it up to today's with today's price levels. So 4.5 lakh crores is what I got.
Adjusted for inflation from 2014.
CPI, 4.5.
Probably, I think I'll have to say yes on that, because probably a little bit here and there, because that's the situation. There's nothing, I can't say that, no, that's not the case. Okay, I can't say. Okay. But yes, there are a lot of ways how we are going to manage that.
Sure.
And again, we have, I think, a very, very, very sincere and seasoned politician as the Chief Minister of the state of Andhra Pradesh, a very proven politician, I would say, a proven leader and administrator. So definitely we'll be able to manage a lot of things along with this.
Sure. I'm sure you can. Actually, there are 3 seasoned politicians who are now going to debate. You can't doubt the seasoned quality of Nitish Kumar, Narendra Modi and Chandrababu Naidu. So the tussle will be interesting. Out of time, Dr. Rao, Dr. Chakraborty, Rathin and Jyothsna, thank you very much indeed for joining us. 3 key takeaways. 1, Finance Commission has to give money, divide money on neutral ground. It can't give a special package for a state like Andhra Pradesh, whose per capita income is higher than that of the nation itself, the national average. So it has to be on neutral ground. The second key takeaway, the budget will have to perhaps do some of the heavy lifting, but we will have to see whether that will impinge on the deficit. That remains a worry for me. And the third one, we must not run away that the states have extraordinary bargaining clout, because if they don't get from NDA, they're not going to get from any other party either, any other coalition either. So let's not run away with any political, hazardous conclusions. This is a stable coalition, and something will be worked out by, as Jyothsna said, the 3 seasoned politicians. With that, we wrap up on Indianomics. Thank you for watching.